President Trump fixing the U.S. economy or creating a global mess? His new tariffs have caused markets to panic, prices to rise, and countries to fear for their future. While he claims it's about fairness, many believe the damage could lead to a full global recession. And guess who will suffer most? The world's poorest. What did Trump do with tariffs? U.S. President Donald Trump announced large tariffs on many goods coming into the country. He said this would protect American jobs and fight back against unfair trade. But the result has been economic chaos. Even after a 90-day pause on some tariffs, most remain in place. There's still a 10% tax on all imports. Some goods like steel, aluminum, cars, and auto parts have even higher tariffs, around 25%. And Chinese imports face a massive 145% tariff, which is nearly impossible for businesses to afford. Who's hurt the most? These tariffs are hurting countries that depend on exporting goods to the U.S., especially poorer countries. Small economies like Sri Lanka, Zambia, and the Maldives are already feeling the pain. Their exports are falling, their debts are rising, and their people are losing jobs. When trade slows down, factories close, and workers are sent home. Governments lose money and can't afford to spend on things like health, education, or jobs. Many of these countries already have large debts, and now they have fewer ways to pay them back. Why are markets so nervous? At first, markets were calm when Trump announced the 90-day pause. But this quiet didn't last. Investors realized the tariffs were still a big problem. Many rich people made quick profits by guessing Trump's next move from his social media posts. But for most people and most countries, things just got worse. Stock prices fell. Bond markets became unstable. The value of the U.S. dollar dropped. Investors began to lose confidence in the U.S. economy. How are the U.S. consumers affected? Prices are rising in America. When imported goods become more expensive, stores charge more for the same products. Everyday items like clothes, electronics, and food can become harder to afford. Some products, like phones and computers, got temporary exemptions. But Trump has also talked about putting new tariffs on medicine, semiconductors, copper, and lumber. This means people in the U.S. may soon pay more for basic items too. Businesses that use foreign-made parts are also struggling. Many are thinking about moving production or stopping expansion plans. What about the U.S. and China trade war? Trump's latest move against China made the trade war worse. Raising tariffs on Chinese goods to 145% basically ends trade with China. Even before this, the previous 104% tariff had already made Chinese goods too expensive. China has answered with its own tariffs. Now both countries are hurting each other, and the risk of a bigger crisis is growing. Some people worry this economic fight could even lead to military tension. Are global supply chains breaking? Yes. Global supply chains rely on smooth and steady trade between countries. But now, many companies are afraid to use Chinese products, even if they come through other countries. They are rushing to find new suppliers, which is expensive and time-consuming. This confusion is breaking the flow of goods around the world. It's making it harder for companies to plan, build, or deliver products on time. Why are investors so worried? Trump's policies are seen as unpredictable. He makes quick decisions, sometimes changes his mind, and announces big moves suddenly. Investors don't like uncertainty. It makes them afraid to take risks or start new projects. The U.S. Federal Reserve has warned that these policies could slow the economy and raise prices. Businesses are already holding off on investments. This will affect U.S. jobs, growth, and the future of many companies. Are Treasury bills still safe? U.S. Treasury bills are usually considered the safest investment in the world. But that may be changing. Fewer people are buying them now. This shows they are losing faith in the U.S. economy and leadership. At the same time, U.S. stocks, bonds, and even the dollar are all going down. This triple drop is rare, and it shows that investors are very concerned. What's happening in poor countries? Developing countries are feeling the heat. Many of them are already in debt. When exports fall and income drops, it becomes harder for these countries to survive. Bond values from these countries are falling. In the last month alone, their dollar bonds lost an average of 2.9% in value. Interest rates are rising to 7.4%, making it more expensive for them to borrow money. Countries like Sri Lanka, Gabon, and Zambia lost over 10% in bond value. Why is this so dangerous for the global economy? If trade slows and prices rise, the whole world suffers. Poor countries suffer more because they have fewer options. They depend on foreign markets, loans, and stable trade to grow. Now, they are facing canceled export orders, job losses, and currency problems. Governments may have to cut spending. This could lead to unrest, poverty, and long-term damage to their economies. Is globalization in trouble? Yes. Many countries may now rethink their place in the global trade system. Trump believes that other countries have taken advantage of the U.S., and he wants to break old trade rules. He's tearing down the system that allowed open, global trade for decades. In response, developing countries may also look for new ways to grow without depending so much on global finance or U.S. markets. But finding a better system won't be easy. For now, they must face a dangerous road with few safe paths. What's the final outlook? Trump's tariffs were meant to make trade fair, but they may end up causing more harm than good. Prices are rising, markets are falling, trade is slowing, and the poorest countries are already paying the price. Unless something changes soon, the world could enter a recession that doesn't need to happen. For now, the only clear message is this: the global economy is more fragile than ever, and much of that fragility is man-made.